Hello and welcome to Misha's Journal Podcast, where I reveal what the Lord is saying through dreams, visions, and testimonials. Today's topic, the road to resilience. So this episode is specifically dealing with God not hearing our prayers if we don't hear the poor. If we don't hear the poor, the cry of people that are poor, then God won't hear us. And so I have scripture here, Proverbs 31 and 20. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. So she genuinely cares for the needy, and that's what God wants from us. He wants us to genuinely care for the needy, the widow, the orphan, and the poor. Proverbs 21 and 13 says, "Whoever shuts their ears to the cry of the poor will also cry out and not be answered." So some wonder why their prayers aren't answered, and that could be just have to check your heart posture and see if you genuinely have you shunned a poor person or poor people that are in need. And you gotta, Sometimes I get a little annoyed, but for the most part, yeah, I do. I have a heart for them. I think that for the most part, especially when I can't help, it's on my heart to pray for them. So at least pray for them. So the Lord's instruction is to hear the cry of the poor. And so God is very intentional about what He wants. And if we pray according to this, He will first search out our heart to see if we're the right person for the job. Because what he really wants is, he doesn't even mind who this is, whoever will say, "I'll go." He'll just use whichever vessel he wants, as long as it doesn't ruin the person's life. If it doesn't, if the person doesn't self-destruct from having everything in abundance, then He'll use them. He's willing to use anyone that's willing to be used. And so, as long as it's not going to create your demise or a downfall for you. So Proverbs 28 and 27 says, "Those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses." So this is not to be taken lightly on either side. It determines whether or not you'll be blessed or cursed, lacking nothing or with many curses. So this is an instruction for the remnant. And I've noticed a pattern that the Lord is using for me for each episode. It'll be instruction, then it'll go into what He's saying as far as let me see. he'll go into instruction and then preparation, the know-how for the preparation, and then he'll give us revelation to something that maybe we didn't know. Yeah, it's just something completely, or something that somebody's spoken about, and then it's just the revelation, and then he'll go back into instruction, and that's where we are now. We're back on instruction, and so this is basically the Lord preparing us again for going higher. That's what this is all about. It's all about elevating and going higher. So he wants us to elevate and go higher by focusing on being kind, courteous to the poor and to the needy. And let me go into another verse here, Isaiah 42:4. So this is about the main purpose of the Lord. So the main purpose of the Lord, he will not fail nor be discouraged till he has established justice in the earth. So God has a passionate concern for justice. His main purpose is to establish justice on all the earth. So this passage is God's passionate concern for justice, and this is Amos 6:3-6. So let me read that. So Amos chapter 6, I'm going to start at verse 3. You put off the day of disaster and bring near a reign of terror. You lie on beds adorned with ivory and lounge on your couches. You dine on choice lambs and fattened calves. You strum away on your harps like David and improvise on musical instruments. You drink wine by the bowlful and use the finest lotions, but you do not grieve over the ruin of Joseph. So this passage is putting emphasis on people that are just looking for comfort and that have no disregard or concern for anyone else. They overindulge, and God generally wants to bless us in abundance, but he does not want us to overindulge. He wants us to have a heart for people, and usually people that overindulge, and if you have a heart if you don't have a heart and you treat people like they're detestable, this is where there's a problem. You're going to lose whatever it is that you have, that you've been blessed with. Just a warning and an FYI. Sorry, my voice is still, it's hard to talk. It's like I have to push. It takes a lot of effort to talk. Anyway, yeah. So this is generally what the Lord is speaking today. He does not want his kids, his children, to be like this. He doesn't want us to, because apparently he will bless his remnant. But as soon as when he wants us to know, and he doesn't want us to have any excuses. So we can't say, oh, I didn't know, or no warning, complaining about no warning. Well, there's your warning. And we need to practice. We need to practice this anyway. But this is something that's important. Otherwise, he would not have me talking about it. He spent all week. He spent all week. I noticed that he was getting my attention all week about these verses in this subject. And I was waiting for one thing and I got another. So as far as what the Lord was telling me about today's lesson. So I think that the Lord is putting emphasis on the subject because of all of the changes that are going to happen in the near future. They're kind of happening now. So I live in Seattle. And there was one point where it was really bad. I don't know about anybody else's city, but this used to be the most cleanest, the beautiful, just kind of small townsy. But look, to me it's small townsy because I'm from SoCal. And so, the LA area. And so this was kind of small townsy to me, which it is. It operates like a small town. They used to shut down everything at around like sundown or whatever. This was a while back. I've been here for a long time. So I'm basically a native. But anyway, it used to be just so clean and just, there weren't that many people. There was no traffic. It was just a different place. It was a different place. And so there have been a lot of, like an upsurge of people moving here ever since 2015. And coincidentally, that's when the Seahawks won and we're going to the Super Bowl. They didn't win. They didn't win the Super Bowl that year, but they went. Anyway, I don't know if that had anything to do with football, but it seemed like it did. And it just, I guess people probably didn't know about it. People still don't know there's another Washington. When I say something about Washington, they think I'm talking about DC. Nope, I'm like the other Washington, and they're like, oh, okay. Nobody knows that there are two Washingtons. But a lot of people know now. This place there's a lot of a super, super duper influx of people, especially people that are homeless. People from California, I'm from California, but the people that are coming up here are the people that live in the RVs. They've lived in RVs, and they park at the park, and they're just used to living like that. I don't know anything about that life. I don't know anything about it, but this is one of the things that the Lord is talking about, and it's a test. It's a huge test. The Seattleites here can't stand these people, and it's not just Californians. They're coming from Texas and all over the place, but there are usually people like fleeing where they're from, trying to find a better place. And this was a better place. Now it's like this is what the problem is. The problem is people take the things from their city and they bring it here. And if they're used to living in a place where things are just, they're used to just hard knock life, just having guns and just whatever, they'll bring it here. And it doesn't fit because this place is really, they call it Emerald City. It's like it's very green. Everything's green and lush. Like there's nothing but trees and water. We're surrounded by water. There's a bunch of islands near us. And people are generally pretty educated. Everybody has a library card. So people read. It's like the highlight of somebody's life is coffee and going and getting a book to read. But there's another side to this place. There are a lot of really wealthy people here. Bill Gates is from here, and a lot of other wealthy people. And that's just who lived here. They up and moved, not Bill Gates, but a lot of different people moved out of this place because it was going downhill. But before all of this, there would be a homeless community. So this place did have homelessness, but basically they were trust fund kids. They were people that were wealthy and then their kids didn't want to do anything with their life, so they just go downtown or go to the near UW, which is the University of Washington. They would just kind of hang out on the streets all night and they were drug addicts, and they were homeless, but they were trust fund kids. Their parents were wealthy, and they just that's basically who the homeless people were. And like the senator's son or things like that. But there has been since 2015 an influx of other types of people that are not what I was used to seeing here. And they just kind of turn this place into something else. Some parts of this place it's unrecognizable. Just ran down, especially Chinatown. Like I don't even drive through there. Just really, really looks different. They've recently have cleaned up downtown area, and there's a ton of new apartments, and it just looks great down there. It looks really great. I'm saying all this to get to my next point. Me and my daughter, she goes to school, so I go visit her, and she's like north from me. I'm actually in Seattle, and she's kind of north in an area called Linwood. And so I went to go visit her, and we went to take a walk. We like to take nature walks. I mean, that's all there is to do here. It's just things, just outdoorsy things, And so we went for a nature walk. There's a ton of places like that, like trails by the water, because we're just surrounded by it. And so we went there, took pictures, and then we kept walking, and we saw shopping carts. Then we saw, I don't know if it was a tunnel, I don't know what that was, but I was just alarmed, and I left, and we left. I'm noticing at the trails that we used to just enjoy walking through are now occupied by people that are homeless. This is the crazy part. So for the most part, everybody is still, everybody usually works here. And that's why there's so much traffic, because everybody drives their single car to their job. And there's just nobody in the carpool lane. They're just congesting the roads. And so everybody really, it looks like people are well-to-do. And so I've noticed that the people, I was wondering what happened to all of the homeless people, because I don't see them in the usual places. And so I found that they've moved to areas like that, to the outskirts in the woods. And I don't know, they just have a different lifestyle now. They sleep during the day, and then they come out at night. And I think it's probably a social phenomena thing. I did a dissertation in school about the subject, about a social phenomena. And so what that is behaviors that happen after a huge event, and they just become the norm. Kind of like example, in New York, when there's somebody laying on the ground, they look hurt or almost dead. If there's a ton of people walking around, everybody will just walk over the individual. But if there's just one or two people around, they'll go see to they'll go check on him. But they generally figure that somebody else will take care of it. The more people there are, that's an example of one of the social phenomena. And so this is very different. I remember we went into Fred Meyer. We went out the wrong door. We wanted to go by where we parked. And so when we went out the door, it was like, we went back in, and we were just like kind of commenting on it, me and my daughter. Like, wait a minute, this is like a whole nother city. It just looked, there were sirens, there was a police officer, there was just a lot going on in that parking lot, and it was just people laughing and smoking and this, that, and the other. It was just a lot going on. I don't think I took it in with my eyes, but I took it in with my ears. And I was just like, where we parked it, I just didn't see any of that. And that doesn't sound like Linwood at all. It's a really nice area, and it's very clean, very, anyway. So I did a little research, and that's what's going on. So people apparently this is what's happening. I remember hearing about this, listening back in the day to a different radio host talking about how things are going to be. People are going to be living in tunnels, and people are going to be living in just different environments that weren't normal. And back then I couldn't fathom, I couldn't fathom how were they gonna just get people, like everyone, the whole world, how were they gonna get them to stay in their house, for martial law. But then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how. But so yeah, this is one of those things where we were told that people were going to go underground. when things get crazy, they were going to go underground, and they were going to just they weren't going to be living on the surface anymore. And I know this has been like, there's other places like Arizona and different places. There are people where they call them mole people or tunnel people. They were living in like under the Target tunnel or whatever. But this is becoming like the norm. They just kind of go out and take over an area, and then just it'll be like a homeless community, and there's not enough police, or I don't know what's going on. But it's just, people just really need they need assistance, they need help, because I don't know, I'm not sure how this is gonna all play out. Maybe this is just our new normal, but our trails are being taken over, and these people, they come out at night and they operate at night. They don't operate in the day. They sleep in the day. But these are the people that the Lord is talking about being kind to, and to not treat them, ignore them, and to not, because I think that they've had to develop a new way of life. They're adapting to their environment. Everywhere is expensive. It's too expensive to live in a place. There's people, and people like it's so easy to find a job here. There's a ton of jobs, so that's not a problem. So I'm sure people are working, and that's probably why there were so many cars parked in the little parking area. So people don't lack as far as that much, but I guess they get to keep their check, and then they work. I don't know if they're content with this lifestyle, but they've had to adapt. Not everybody has an RV. And so this is what we're dealing with. This has become the new normal for them, and I just kind of found out about it recently. This is just an example of what we're looking at as far as our future. And I just can't wait to do something about it. I can't wait to just do something about it. I don't know if it's not safe. I don't know what to expect. That's why I don't want to, I didn't want to like hang out anymore. I was like, okay, it's time to go. But I did that because I don't know what's going on back in the, who knows. But this is what people have resulted to. This makes me sad inside. I'm so sad for them. I can't imagine living like that. This is what's happening, folks. This is what's going on. And I guess we have an obligation. People are resulting to moving to the woods. They're living in the woods now. And they're just setting up shop. They come out at night. It's usually near stores, and they'll just come out from nowhere, and they'll go into I don't know. They've just learned to adapt, and this is what's going on. We gotta do something about it. I can't wait until I'm in the position to, and so I don't want it to get worse. I don't want it to get worse than it is. I know that 60% of people that are homeless, it's because of mental health issues. I think I said that before, but that's so sad. It's really sad. It's like, how do you navigate that? So they're self-medicating. That's what I've read about. I studied and read about these things, and so I know about the dopamine effect and all of that. So anyway, so this is gonna be, and it's probably gonna be a lot more people that are going to be homeless. I mean, people they get mass. Some landlords have like mass evictions. In some states, they're mass evictions. So let me go back to this lesson and make sure that I'm speaking on what the Lord wants me to. I want to conclude with what He wants me to speak on. So, the last thing that I said that the Lord wants is His passion and concern is for justice, and His main purpose is to establish justice on earth. It probably doesn't feel great to have to resort to live in the woods when there's other people out there in high rises. It's like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? How do you navigate that? You can't afford to live in a place, so you had to make a place of your own outside. I'm not even mad at these people. I'm just shocked, and I can't believe that it's happening. And I can't believe how many people. And then I'm concerned about there being a lot more. And the Lord wants justice. He's concerned about that. That's His main passion and concern. And so this is not something to detest these people. We're not supposed to look down on people that are going through this. We just need to have a heart for them and try to get ourselves, when we're in the position to do something, we need to have the right heart posture to do something about it, and not look down on people or not hate them, or look at this as a huge negative, because they're only adapting. And I cannot believe that this is the state of America right now. I think it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Anyway, that was the episode. And the Lord is always speaking, even if we aren't listening. What is He speaking to you? Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.